Hi! Today I'm going to be making my hamburger noodle casserole. It's really good, really easy, and really affordable. So let me show you how I do it. So first, we're going to start with some veggies, okay? I've got one green bell pepper. Like, this is two stalks of celery. You can use three, like 2 to 3. It depends on what you like. And one onion all chopped. Now, this is something that I recommend. It's how I do it. Okay, I see this a lot on Facebook, like other cooking videos, where people will just dump the hamburger or whatever meat you're using and the onions and everything all at the same time in the pan. Okay, what I recommend instead is put your onions, your veggies and everything in first. Let that get going and develop some flavor, and then put in your meat. Okay, that way you can season it well, and you can also make sure that the flavors are developed in the veggies that you're using. Okay?
You see me? Okay. All right. So first, I'm gonna get some oil in the pan. I just use olive oil. I like a light tasting oil, so that's what I get. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of oil in the pan, just a little bit.
And now,
okay, now I'm gonna add all the veggies that I showed you earlier. Okay. And this is a preheated pan. I've got this on like medium high. So I'm going to get this going. That way all the flavors can start to develop, and the all the veggies have a chance to release all their juices and all their goodness. And you don't need to cook this long, okay? Just a couple minutes is all you need just to get everything going. And now, here's another thing that's very important.
you season in layers, okay?
So every time I add a new ingredient or a major ingredient to the pan, I'm going to add salt and pepper, okay?
Watch.
Okay, so now I've got the onion, celery, and bell pepper in the pan cooking away. I'm going to add salt and pepper, okay? So if you do this in layers, this is ensuring that everything is seasoned properly and seasoned enough. So if we just dump everything in and season it all at once, then there's a very good chance that everything won't be seasoned the correct way, and you'll end up having to add more salt and pepper at the end anyway, just to make sure that it tastes right. Okay?
Does that make sense?
I hope it does. I really hope it does. I'm trying to explain this the best I can. And keep this in mind, if you do this a different way than I do, that's fine. Okay, whatever you like, you do. This is just my suggestion and how I personally cook. Okay, I'm back. All right, so you see how this has been cooking now for a couple minutes, and everything looks kind of like it's starting to get soft, like soften and a little bit translucent. Okay, this is what.
So now I'm gonna put in
about that much garlic, and yes, this is garlic. Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, don't let anybody make you feel bad for using garlic. Is fresh garlic better? Yes, it is. It is. It is. But is garlic bad? No. All right, and sometimes you just don't feel like chopping garlic. Okay. So this is where we're at. We're going to use the garlic, and it's about half a teaspoon of these guys, crushed red pepper flakes. This is optional. I just like it with a little bit of spice. If you want more spice, add more. If you want less spice, add less. If you don't want it at all, don't add it at all. Okay? Completely up to you. And see, this also I add now. Like I add this almost like directly to the pan. That way the heat has a chance to come in contact with it, and it just kind of wakes it up a little bit. So this has been cooking for a little bit. One thing you don't want to do ever is burn garlic, okay? You won't like it, trust me. Never burn the garlic. So don't let this cook for too long once you put the garlic in. I kind of cleared a little spot here in the pan, you can see. And now I'm going to add in 1 pound of ground beef, okay? And the reason that I clear a spot in the pan is because I want this to have contact with the surface of the pan. That way it gets a nice sear, a nice crust where it browns better if it has more surface contact with the pan, okay?
Does that make sense?
Hopefully. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Let this brown. Cook it, let it brown. But before I do that, again, so I added another major ingredient. Our best friends, salt and pepper. Season, season, season. You have to season your food. It is a must. The salt, and I like I like a good amount of salt. If you don't, it's to taste. So whatever amount of salt you like, go with that. Okay, it's whatever you and your family enjoy. So if I were to dump all this in, remember I told you before, if I were to dump all this, the onions, the celery, the garlic, the bell pepper, if I was to dump all that in at the same time, you wouldn't be able to flavor everything on its own, okay? So, something I recommend that you do it this way again. If you do it the other way, that's fine too. Whatever floats your boat, basically. That's what you go with.
While I was doing all this with, getting the hamburger and other ingredients going, on the back burner, I had a pot of boiling water. Okay, and to that water, I'm going to add salt. Okay, salt your water. Salt your water. Trust me. Again, this is all the thing is about adding flavor. We want to season everything, and the only chance you have to get seasoning into pasta or potatoes or anything you're cooking while it's boiling in water is to salt the water. Okay. So I'm going to add salt to my salted boiling water. I'm going to add 1 package of egg noodles. I've got hamburger going, got the noodles going. While that's cooking, I'm going to make like the saucy stuff.
Okay, so to a large bowl, I'm going to add 1 can of carrot mushroom soup, 1 can of tomato soup, 1 cup of sour cream, and approximately like 2 tablespoons or so of Worcestershire sauce. Alright, and then we're just going to mix it all together.
My meat is browning away. It's almost done. So I drained the fat out, okay? But here's another tip I can give you, okay? After you drain out the fat, don't turn off the heat, okay? Let the meat sit in there for a little bit after you've drained it, okay? Because you're not only draining out the fat, you're also draining out the water that's in the meat too, okay? So after you've drained all that out, that's when you're really going to be able to really brown the meat well. And that is how you build flavor, okay? So just take your time. It doesn't take forever. Just a few more minutes. Let it sit there for a little bit. Don't mess with it, okay? Don't mess with it. And just let it brown a little bit after you've drained the meat.
I've got my noodles cooked. My meat has browned and it's had a chance to caramelize a little bit. So now I'm going to add everything to this large bowl that I made my sauce in, okay? Alright, so now first I'm going to add my egg noodles. Ooh, I'm going to add the meat. See, hamburger, noodle, casserole, you get me? Following me? Get where I'm going? Picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. I'm going to mix her all up and really get in there, okay? Oh, I can smell it already. It smells so good. It smells so good. This is good. Honestly, like, pound a burger and a bag of egg noodles and you could feed, well, a family of 4 or me and my teenage son. I want to make sure this is all coated. So really get in underneath and stir it from the bottom. Now I've got this all combined. Before I put this in the oven, okay, while it's in the bowl, I'm going to taste it, okay? Another tip, taste your food, okay? Taste your food as you're going along, because if I put this in the dish right now and put it in the oven, it's going to be obviously really hard to go back in and add more salt to this if it's already cooked. You get me? So I taste this now. See? I think this needs more salt. See, I'm glad I tasted it now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that till it's too late. So I'm going to add a little more. This all combined in a bowl. I've already got a baking dish that I've already sprayed with cooking spray, and I've already got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, okay? So, now we assemble it. Now we assemble the bitch. Alright, so, I'm going to add this to the pan, and hopefully I don't drop it. I have tiny hands, so this seems to be like the hardest part sometimes is holding onto the bowl. So I'm gonna get this all spread around and spread out evenly in the baking dish. I'm going to top this casserole with cheese. I'm using cheddar cheese. You can use whatever cheese your little heart desires, okay? Whatever floats your boat. This is your party. And don't skimp on the cheese, okay? Just don't. Okay. So I've got a nice healthy amount of cheese on the top. And now I'm going to come back and dot the top of this with some butter. And use butter, okay? Use real butter. Unless you're under like some sort of like dietary restrictions where you can't, but I recommend that you use real butter, okay?
She's ready to go in the oven. There it is. All right. So I'm going to put this in, like I said, a preheated 350 degree oven for about like 20 to 30 minutes. Basically, all I'm looking for is a nice brown crust. That's it, okay? Because this is all already cooked. So basically, I'm just baking it to, you know, make everything like get together and be happy, and to melt the cheese and brown the crust, okay? I'll show you what it looks like when it's done.
There she is. She's all done. Ain't she a beaut? Don't mind the sound of my dryer in the background. While this was in the oven cooking, I took the time to switch my load from the washer to the dryer, and now it's going, and I have to deal with the noise. Okay? But yeah, doesn't that look good? So it wasn't like browning quite to my liking, so I did pop it under the broiler for a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. That's something you can do if you really want that nice like golden brown crust, is put it under the broiler.
All right, there you have it. So I did also, while this was baking in the oven, I did take the time to make a little green salad, okay, which I just did like green leaf lettuce, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, tossed up. You got yourself a side salad, okay? So yeah, there it is, my hamburger noodle casserole. If you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, guys, I'm hungry. I'm real hungry, okay? See you later. Bye.